the Constitution doesn't really require us to have a Department of Education. But under Carter, they made some agreement, and in some way, I was not in the country still then, but in some way they convinced even the Republicans, I guess, to get the Department of Education. But I want you to pay attention to the third clause in that statute. Parents have the primary responsibility for the education of the children, and the state, localities, and private institutions have the primary responsibility to support the parents. Unfortunately, what has been happening in the last few years since the COVID, the parents, regardless of they're not in the driver's seat, they're not in the sitting next to the driver even, they're not in the back seat, they've been thrown out of the car altogether. Parents don't have a say, because even when they go to school board, look at the faces of the school board member. They're like poker faces, they're not even listening. They're just, with the button, 3 minutes, 1 minute, get off. They're not even listening. Some of them even walk away. Or some of them even, like the father in Loudoun County, that his daughter was sexually assaulted in the bathroom, was dragged physically from the school board meeting. I'm glad he's suing, and he's gonna win. So we have to remember that we are supposed to be at the driver's seat and not be at the table, ideally at the table with the teachers, with the school, community, and the parents together as part of the community, making decisions for the benefit of the children and the benefit of the families and the community. Next. And another one, sorry, we'll go back to this one. This is really a very brief history. There are several more laws, but it is important to see that there are some already laws in the book that's supposed to protect us, but unfortunately, it seems that they are not being enforced. And obviously, the 14th Amendment, it was not yesterday that the 14th Amendment was passed, and we are eligible, obviously, for due process, and there is the Equal Protection Clause. And we know for a fact that the Equal Protection Clause is not being applied in schools today. The second one is obviously the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And we know, for example, with what's happening with the CRT teaching, as well as the promoting the gender ideology, the queer ideology, the transgender agenda, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is not being applied as well. It's being violated, grossly violated, I would say. And then we have, of course, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, known as FERPA. And the next one I'm mentioning here are also the Protection of Pupil Rights Amendment, also which is supposed to protect, provide the parents with the ability to have access to any information about their children, as well as prevent the school from collecting data and using the data about their children. This is now a very much a policy that is very much can be found in all the schools. There's extensive data collection on our students. Parents don't know about the surveys. Parents are, and many times, even parents who opt their kids out of those surveys, the teacher putting a lot of pressure on the student to take those surveys. And I think some of you probably have heard when Attorney General Garland was asked a question about his his son-in-law running one of the most profitable organization that is running those surveys. So this is something that, again, the law is there to protect us, and when parents are coming and requesting to apply the law and claim their right, they're trampled all over and they're not being exercised.